What's going on, everyone? Jason here, and welcome to the Abyssgarage. And today, work continues on the Shovelhead Chopper build, and we are going to be messing around with front forks here. In the last video on this build, you could see me do a time-lapse disassembly, breaking it down, so that way we can get everything squared away for welding and paint work. And what better way to do that with making some cool fork legs. What I'm going to be doing is taking these apart here, cutting off all the brackets for the brake and brake caliper and fender, and hopefully be able to turn these down the lathe, so that way at the end I'm left with some really cool lower fork legs, and really set off the build, just make it that much cooler. So let's get to it. Alright, so I have taken out the fork spring itself, just so I can thread these caps on when I was laying them down. These are a bit of a pain if you know working on them, just trying to compress the spring down itself. So what I had done, just not to make a mess everywhere, was simply unthread the cap itself and take the spring out and empty out the fork oil as the best that I could. And I have never taken these forks apart, so conventional forks, fairly straightforward and easy, I'm hoping here. If I get stuck on something, I'm sure that's why there's YouTube. So we'll just go ahead and get the drain screw out and see what else I got to do as far as getting the rest of this fork apart, so I can get it down just to the slider. Not gonna lie, that was pretty damn easy. So just a 6mm Allen into the bottom of that guy, and it came apart. So yeah, you learn something new every day here. Went ahead off camera. I popped the seal out here, not a big deal. Got that all out. So as far as I'm concerned, I guess this fork leg is pretty much stripped. So probably talked about it in previous videos, but the Swag Off-Road, again, not sponsored, but the Swag Off-Road stand they sell for the Porter band is amazing. If you guys are in a small garage, like I'd say mine is, realistically, this thing is awesome. And hopefully what I'm going to do here is just use that to cut, like I said earlier, the ears off for the caliper and for the fender mount. So we'll kind of lop these off now. Get them as good as we can, and get this stuck in the lathe and see about turning this down.
I'm really not going to ride too much more than 30 miles.
Yep.
You know, it was actually pretty clever. He
Interrupting what? I'm cutting aluminum.
yeah, well,
You just don't want to be on the television.
no.
Alright, so here's obviously the comparison between the original and what we've turned down. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but I definitely took off quite a bit up there. And you can see, just as a comparison, obviously blending the two together, but I feel like they definitely probably overcast this, obviously, to handle the braking and as far as all this other brackets and the reflector mounts. So obviously, you know, we have a much better looking fork slider here. So I'm happy with the with how it turned out. So now it's just a matter of finishing this one up and then taking that fork apart. All right, guys, so I figured I'd take a quick second and then go over on this leg, shaving it down. Now, obviously, you guys saw that I cut all the brackets off with the Porter band on the stand, which works out great. And honestly, you don't even need a lathe to really do this. I'm sure with a flap disc and a file, you could really pull off that shaved leg effect. But we're just going for like a true, for being like true, if we'll say. But obviously, you guys can see the castings are not... they're just castings in a sense, and if you look here, we're not touching on basically 3/4 of this lower leg itself. We're only touching off on here, so you know, we're going to have quite a bit to do with shaving itself up. But honestly, I'm going to have to take my time. I made some measurements here off of my first leg itself, and I'm going to have to be mindful of where I am shaving, so that way I can have close to identical legs here. All right, so here we are now, and went ahead with the let's see here, 150 grit. So I started out at 150, then I worked my way up to, I think, 240, 320, 400. Now this was 600 with the sandpaper, and this is coming out pretty nice, I gotta say. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna take this guy, this Eastwood, I guess it's instead of an angle grinder, it's just a straight grinder with the Scotch-Brite, which is the equivalent of 600. So what I'm going to do is get into these hard to reach areas here, knock that, what remaining paint is off of there, so that way that is stripped. And then this section will get hand polished, but then from there I should be able to go to 800, 1000, 2000, and then polish like I did with the other one. And then I think it's safe to say that the legs themselves will be done, and then we just have to reassemble everything. Alright, so here we are at the end of another video on the Shovelhead Chopper, and you know what? Started off with some ugly black fork legs that, let's face it, they've seen better days. And I mean, look at it now. I got myself a nice set of shaved, polished legs. Went ahead, you saw in that last clip, put fresh seals, fork seals in there. These tubes have seen better days. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat that at all. They're 40 plus years old, and you know what? If I put the bike back together and decide that these legs are really, or the tubes themselves are holding the bike back as far as presentation, I will swap them out. That's not really a big issue. I mean, these forks are easy enough to take apart themselves, and you know, I'm just trying to be budget friendly here. Obviously, I'm not trying to cut corners. But, you know, I don't want this build to get away from me and just start spending tons of money, and then I'm left with, you know, in a sense, an overpriced bike, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, let's face facts. Like I said, started out with something not so pretty, and I got something really nice at the end of it, just with some hard work, a little sweat equity. And now that this is done, as I said before, now I think it's finally time that we throw the frame on here and start welding her up, so that way that can get all taken care of. I did order a paint gun, as I had mentioned before, that I intend on painting this in the garage. It is towards the end of September, and I'm running out of time very quickly. I have a lot of things going on here, just as far as house projects and being in the garage. So, you know, hopefully I can really start to get things squared away here, because I do not want to be painting in the wintertime. If I am assembling the bike in the wintertime, that's fine by me. So with that being said, that's all that I have for today's video here. If you guys are enjoying this stuff, please let me know. If you think there needs to be improvements, I'm always open to suggestions. If you think I should be doing certain things with filming, or what you guys enjoy, because it's, you know, I want to let the channel grow itself. I know everyone says that, but you know, I really want to, you know, basically, like I said, if someone else is out there trying to build their bike in their garage, it's always nice to see that someone else is doing the same thing. So with that being said, I'll see you guys around for another episode in the Abyss Garage. Take care, guys.